Let's talk about corgis. You know those stubby little dogs with legs that look like they belong on a coffee table? Yeah, those guys. And let me tell you, corgis have got this whole "I'm cute, but I'm not gonna let you forget it" thing down to a science. They strut around like royalty. And the funny thing is, they kind of are royalty. These are the dogs that the Queen of England herself used to roll with, like some kind of furry entourage. Think about it. The Queen, one of the most powerful figures in the world, with a gang of corgis. If that doesn't tell you these dogs have some serious clout, I don't know what will. The legs. First of all, let's get to the obvious, those legs. Corgis have these ridiculously short, stubby legs that just defy all logic. It's like someone took a regular dog and forgot to finish the legs. They're like, yeah, this is enough leg. We don't need more leg. This'll do. You ever watch a corgi walk? It's like someone hit the fast forward button on their legs but kept the rest of their body at regular speed. They're moving like they've got somewhere important to be, but their bodies are like, wait, slow down. We're not built for this. And the weird part is, these dogs are actually herding animals. Can you imagine that? A corgi trying to herd a bunch of cattle with those tiny little legs? It's like watching a toddler try to push a shopping cart. Adorable, but kind of absurd. But the thing is, they're good at it. They're out there bossing around animals 20 times their size, and you've got to admire the confidence. It's like they don't know how short they are. Yeah, I've got legs the length of a loaf of bread, but I'm in charge here. The royal attitude. Speaking of confidence, corgis walk around like they own the place. You ever see a corgi enter a room? They don't just stroll in. No, they sashay in, like they're on a runway. Tail up, head high, like, yeah, I'm adorable and you all know it. And the thing is, we do know it. They've got that built-in charm that makes you want to pet them, even when you know they probably don't care. They've got that royal attitude like they're doing you a favor by letting you scratch their ears. Oh, you want to pet me? Fine, go ahead. I'll allow it. And this whole royal connection with corgis, let's talk about that. These are dogs that have been chilling in Buckingham Palace. That's like the dog equivalent of living in a mansion with a butler, a chauffeur, and your own private chef. Imagine being a dog and having the Queen of England as your owner. That's next level. These dogs aren't just pets, they're aristocrats. They probably have better health care than most people. Oh, what's that? You've got a scratch on your paw? Don't worry, we'll fly in the best veterinarian from Switzerland. Meanwhile, we're here scraping together change for our own doctor's appointments, and the corgis are out there living like they're part of the royal family. The bark. Now, let's talk about the barking. Corgis have this bark that's way too big for their body. It's like their bark didn't get the memo that they're small dogs. You hear it, and you're like, where's that coming from? Is there a German Shepherd around here? But no, it's the corgi, standing there all smug with its little legs, barking like it's trying to scare off an intruder. And you can't help but laugh because, come on, who's getting intimidated by a corgi? But don't tell them that. They've got no idea how ridiculous they look. They're convinced they're the guardians of the realm, protecting the kingdom from squirrels, mailmen, and anything else that moves within a 50-foot radius. And the barking doesn't stop either. Once they start, they're committed. It's like they've decided, this is it. I'm gonna bark until the situation is resolved, even if it takes all day. And you're sitting there, trying to reason with them like, hey buddy, it's just the wind. There's nothing to bark at. But they don't care. They're like, nope, I've got a job to do, and I'm doing it. And you've got to respect that kind of dedication, even if it drives you nuts. The personality corgis have personalities that are way too big for their bodies. They've got this mix of charm, stubbornness, and a little bit of mischief that makes them impossible to ignore. It's like they know they're cute, but they're not going to let that stop them from getting into trouble. You ever try to train a corgi? Good luck with that. They'll learn what you're trying to teach them, but they'll decide whether or not they actually want to do it. You tell them to sit, and they look at you like, yeah, I could sit, but what's in it for me? And it's not just the training. They've got this independent streak that makes them think they're the ones running the show. You ever see a corgi on a leash? They're not following you, you're following them. They've got their own agenda, and they're dragging you along for the ride. Come on, human, we've got places to be, things to smell, and squirrels to chase. Try to keep up. The smarts. And they're smart too. Really smart. Corgis are like little furry masterminds. They'll figure out how to open doors, get into cabinets, and outsmart you in ways you didn't even think were possible. You ever leave a Corgi alone in the house for too long? You come back, and it's like they've orchestrated a heist. Things are knocked over, food's been stolen off the counter, and they're just sitting there with that innocent look like, "What? I didn't do anything. Must have been the cat." But deep down, you know they've been plotting the whole time. They've got this intelligence that's almost scary. If they had opposable thumbs, they'd probably be running the world by now. You leave them in the backyard, and they're digging holes, mapping out escape routes like they're in some kind of canine Alcatraz. And if they do manage to break free, they're not running away. They're just going on an adventure. They'll come back when they're good and ready, probably with a smug little grin like, "Yeah, I got out. What of it?" The Corgi butt. Now, let's address the elephant, or should I say, the Corgi, in the room, the butt. Corgis have these ridiculously round, fluffy butts that defy all logic. It's like someone took all the extra fluff they could find and stuffed it into the back half of the dog. And when they walk, it's like this little waddle that's just hypnotic. You can't not watch it. There's something about a Corgi butt that just makes you smile. It's like nature's way of saying, "Yeah, I'm cute and I know it." And don't even get me started on the way people react to Corgis on the street. You take a Corgi for a walk, and suddenly, you're the center of attention. People will stop dead in their tracks just to get a look at that little fluffy butt waddling down the sidewalk. "Oh my God, it's a Corgi. Look at that butt." It's like the Corgi knows they're a celebrity too. They'll strut down the street, head held high, tail wagging like, "Yeah, I know I'm cute. You can thank me later." The herding instinct. One of the funniest things about Corgis is their herding instinct. These dogs were bred to herd livestock, and that instinct doesn't go away just because they're living in an apartment or a house. You ever watch a Corgi try to herd people? It's hilarious. They'll circle around you, nip at your heels, and basically try to boss you around like you're a sheep. It's like, "Come on, human, get with the program. I'm in charge here." And they don't just herd humans either. They'll try to herd anything. Other dogs, cats, kids, even furniture. You ever see a Corgi try to herd a couch? It's like they've decided, this thing needs to be over there, and I'm going to make it happen. And they're so determined about it too. You've got to admire the dedication, even if it makes absolutely no sense. The loyalty. But for all their quirks, for all their stubbornness and attitude, Corgis are loyal. These dogs will stick by your side no matter what. They've got that fierce loyalty that makes them the best companions. You could be having the worst day, and that little dog will come over, tail wagging, ready to cheer you up. They've got this way of making everything better just by being there. And yeah, they might be a little bossy, a little independent, and a lot stubborn, but at the end of the day, they're your best friend. So here's to the Corgis, the tiny dogs with the big personalities, the royal attitudes, and the fluffy butts. They may be small, but they sure do make a big impact.